we're going to look at the Fallkniven A1. As you can see, it's already seen a lot of use. I've had it for about a year, roughly. Laminated VG10 steel, 6-inch blade, about 11 inches overall, tang throughout. Zytel handle, comfortable in my relatively small hand. Craton sheath, drain hole, snaps in comfortably, has a tight fit. Let's see what this can do, and let's see how it fares in some basic bushcraft and campsite chores. Well, today we're going to try out some of the chopping and batoning which we talked about with the A1, so you can kind of see it in action. Here's some of the chopping. Let's see if we can baton this. It's a little large. Now, I actually already batoned, but I think that piece of oak I was using, that piece of oak I was using is just a little too light. So here we're going to do this again, so you can see this in action. There you go. So that was a lot better with the thicker blade, or thicker log. Alright, so we have a piece batoned off. Now let's see how this thing fares with some fuzz sticks. Now, you have to bear with me. I am by no means an expert at making these. Morris Kachansky would not be proud. Luckily, I don't think I'll be meeting him anytime soon. So on this softer wood, it is doing a fine job of making these shavings. Now you can see that these aren't curling, and that has nothing to do with the blade. That's more because of my lack of skill. But for those of you who have been doing these for a long time and who are exceptional at making feather sticks or fuzz sticks, this should be a fine blade for the process. Now, what you see that I've done is I've sharpened the back of this, or filed it down, so that it's sharp enough where you could scrape it against a piece of wood and you could get some tinder. So as you can see, we'll see if we can get this to light. It is, here's some that I just did a little bit ago. It is a little damp, but maybe we'll get lucky here. Well, as you can see, it's not catching, but it does throw off some great sparks. So there you have the Fallkniven A1. It's a laminated VG10 steel, convex with a small saber grind. It's about a 6-inch blade, 11 inches overall. It's got a craton handle. Now, I don't have the biggest hands in the world, and this is very comfortable for me to hold. It's not awkward at all. It's got a full tang, actually, and the steel sticks out about maybe 1/8 of an inch, so you could hit that with the back of an axe, even, if you were so brave to hit it with something that hard. Sheath. This is the sheath. It's ugly as heck, but it works. Side towel sheath, I believe. It's strong enough that it could be held. I have paracord here, so you can't see it, but there's a little latch here. You could suspend it under your arm, or however you prefer to carry it. But it is a decent sheath. Has a drain hole. Nice knife. Now, about $150 on eBay I bought this for. I believe retails for about $225. Now, my thoughts on the price. It's hard to justify $150 on a blade, in my mind at least. Now, I know everybody's got different opinions on this, and some people have no problem spending hundreds of dollars on a blade. I tend to be a little bit leery of how I'm going to treat this and if it's going to get destroyed based upon what I do, especially since I'm still in the learning phase. Only 28 years old, still have a lot of years ahead of me, hopefully, to get better at these things. In terms of its uses, it's designed for a survival knife. I think it's issued for the Air Force in Sweden as their kind of ASEC knife, or whatever you want to classify it as, designed to be anything they could use it for, from fighting to building a shelter. Now, for bushcraft purposes, I think that I would be just as content with a Mora and a hatchet, or a Mora and a 12-inch machete, depending on where you are, or if you're in South America, a Mora and a 16-inch Tramontina or something like that. So I'm not quite sure whether it's worth the price. I'd be curious to see how it performs compared to Luku's, or something that would be a little bit cheaper to purchase. You can buy a Lori Luku blade, about a 7-inch blade. You can buy it on Ben's Backwoods for about $25 to $30. Handle it yourself. Now, does this perform 5 times, or if you buy it retail, is this performing almost 9 or 10 times as well as that Luku? I'm not too sure that I would think that it is, but it's a great blade. It's something that I would trust myself to, trust my life to. Maybe not trust my skills, but I trust my life to the blade. I definitely think you could jam this in a tree and step on it. One of the strongest blades I've ever seen in Nas's destruction tests. I think he was absolutely amazed at how tough this knife was. So it is a nice knife. It is a good blade. $150 is a lot to swallow. But if you have the money to spend and it doesn't bother you spending it, then I'd recommend picking one up. And this also leads me to believe that all of Fallkniven stuff are probably exceptional quality, including the smaller blades like the F1 or the S1, which are more geared towards camp chores and bushcraft type things. So anyway, thanks, and you can look at the chart on the website, bushcraftknifereviews.com, to see where this stands against other knives. Thanks for watching, and thanks for listening.